All right, welcome to the relationship show. This guy writes his post. How can I tell if my date is sex positive? I recently left a 13-year relationship, and for the last 5 of those years, my partner wasn't interested in sex. It was pretty bad, and I don't want to end up in a situation like that ever again. Okay, so sometimes we can use the pain of our past relationships to really drive us to improve and get better and figure out what it is to change. But sometimes we can also use that pain to as like a barrier and a guard as so we don't like open up to the other person. Just be very careful on that and approaching the situation not coming from a place of fear of this happening again. Use that fear to really drive you and make a decision to change or at least make progress towards a better relationship, really working on yourself. He says, going forward, I'm only interested in dating people who have a positive attitude towards sex and a healthy libido. Well, what are you doing right here, though? I mean, your method right now. It's like, okay, you experience this pain that gave you a motivator to change, and that's what you're looking to do is change. But your solution and your method is to pick someone else and looking at an external factor. So you told me that you've got 13 years of a relationship and then only the last 5. I mean, I know that's a very long time, but it's like the last 5 years weren't sexual, but the other previous 8, there was sex. So is it genuinely the other person, or was it some kind of pattern that you got caught up in that didn't lead to attraction? He says, aside from actually sleeping with them, what are some of the subtle ways that I can work out if my date is sex positive? I'm guessing what he means by sex positive is they have that, referring back to like the healthy libido and a positive attitude towards sex, so they want sex, because he's pinpointing sex as the sole thing from that's the cause of a relationship. But honestly, that just makes me think of like treating the symptom, not the cause. And so it reminds me of just like, well, honestly, just having like an antibiotic that basically just treats a symptom, but then once they get off the antibiotic, it comes back and the root cause was never really addressed. That's kind of what it seems like you're doing right here, because you're not really looking at your own situations and what was the cause of that lack of sexual desire between the two of you, or at least her not being attracted to you. You know, maybe look at what the cause of that was, not necessarily just looking at the outcome of them not wanting sex and thinking it's just like them and then looking for another thing. But right now, what you're going to do is you're probably going to experience the same exact situation. Because you're not looking internal as yourself and growing and figuring out, again, the root cause. So what I see so commonly in long-term relationships is that after years, it's like they get in these traps of certainty. And so it's like, man, relationships are a lot to do with managing certainty, but also some forms of uncertainty as well. Because if it's too certain, which is almost always, well, a lot of the case as far as when attraction drops, it's like it gets boring. And then when it's boring, it's like that excitement's not there, that desire's not there. You might love each other, but the thing is that love and desire are 2 different things. And so certainty is a great environment for like a family, or, you know, some along those lines. It's like certainty is very essential for that, but uncertainty is essential for desire. And, you know, maybe that is one of your root causes. Another one I see is thinking that you have to be taken care of, or when the guy starts acting in his feminine and he's got like this common thing where she's the woman's the one taking the lead in the masculine role, and he's in this passive role and basically following her lead and just doing whatever she says, or being this pleaser. And that's often a time when people don't change, because it's like they think that they get locked into this mindset that if I just do enough for her, and if I'm nice enough, if I take care of her enough, then things will be reciprocated for me and I'll have unlimited sex. I'll have all my needs fulfilled. Everything will be great. My life will be perfect if I just follow the rules of pleasing her and being nice. But oftentimes, well, the vast majority of times, and really almost 100% of the time, going through that approach over time is going to lead to a lack of desire. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be nice or anything like that. I mean, there needs to be that certainty aspect, but if it's overused and there's not that mystery, that suspense, that variety, maybe not doing a date night every Friday night, getting into this routine and just eliminating excitement. It's like maybe you tell her, hey, just show up looking hot for this one date, or something along those lines, where you go to some unexpected place. Maybe you don't tell her exactly where you're going, or you have some kind of thing where you can like break the rules of things that maybe like some kind of sexual fantasy or things that'll just get the spark more alive. That'll be really a fun experience between the two of you. And honestly, from your thing, it's like, well, you're gauging, other than having sex with them to figure out if they're positive on sex, that's not really going to give you a thing, because it's like, if you're looking for a long-term relationship, which I'm assuming that's what you're looking for based on you bringing up the 13-year relationship, well, one time isn't going to determine whether, she's going to be attracted to you for a long duration. And so it's like, if you're not fulfilling her needs, yes, that is essential. You need to fulfill her needs. That's when I see like the love language. That's such a common thing, and widespread knowledge, as far as like relationship knowledge. That's where I see it as essential, but it builds that certainty. And so it's just stacking that certainty. And it's not addressing the variety, and it's not addressing the polarities, and it's not addressing managing the space between you and her. You don't just always want to be like pursuing her, chasing her. It's like you need to back off, have that closeness, and be 100% present with her in moments, and then have that space as well, because the space is essential. She needs to wonder about you. There needs to be that element of variety. Also, you'll see her attraction drop if you don't fulfill her needs. And it's like, if you don't make her feel appreciated for the things she does to get your effort, or the things she does along the household. If you don't make her feel understood, if you try to fix her problems instead of just like listening to her, getting to talk more. Women talk through their problems. That's how they solve them. Allow them to do that. Let them do that, and emphasize them doing that more. And remember the things she says as well. And be just 100% present with her and feel what she's feeling in a particular moment. And that will increase her feeling like she's more understood and heard and listened to. And another thing, she has to feel safe. So if you can't stick up for yourself, or if you just basically go along with whatever she says, let her make the plans, let her make the opinions. And if she ever challenges that opinion, if you like just change your opinion so that you don't want to upset her, all those things really make her, or project that you're not really strong. And when she feels like you're not strong, it doesn't make her feel safe. And that's another essential one, is her feeling safe. Yeah, man. So you got to follow those things, go through those, and look at those in retrospect to what your previous actions were, because you need to eliminate this focus on like the end, as you need to go back to the root cause. And that's where you need to make the change, not at the end result, not treating just a symptom, treating the root cause.